Hello, everybody. This is Adam Kegel, creator and administrator of the Jewish Humor Group. Today, I have a very special guest with us, Greg Harris. He's a nice guy. He's one of our sponsors, and he's got some cool stuff to expose to our group. But let's start with introducing him. His name is Greg Harris. So, Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background, where you're from, how old you are.
You really want my age, huh? All
Well,
right. Thanks for having me, Adam. I'm from Chicago, and
okay.
it's freezing there now. But in any event, I'm from Chicago, and my background is that I'm currently a lawyer out in Chicago.
Wow.
My first job when I grew up in the north side of Chicago, which was a north suburb, which was Skokie, which many of your listeners have heard of. My first job at 16 was as a peanut vendor at Wrigley Field and White Sox Park.
Wow.
That's where I already had a love of baseball, but I honed it in a little more there with the professionals. Eventually, I went to law school, and I'm a lawyer in Chicago, like I said. And at some point, I decided, although I still practice law, I decided to kind of follow my passion, which was really anything but law, but it had to do with Jews in baseball. So I started a Jews in Baseball project, and I think that's what you're here to talk about.
Exactly. What kind of? Let me ask you something about law that caught my attention. What kind of law do you practice?
I do personal injury law. I worked at a large defense firm for the first part of my career and kind of learned that side of it.
Right.
And then I actually quit law. I really didn't want to be a lawyer anymore, and I quit.
Okay.
And then I started getting some injury cases, and then it sucked me right back in, and here I am.
So you're still practicing then?
I still am practicing, not as much.
Yeah.
I'm very limited, and I'm trying to focus a little bit more now on the Jews in Baseball and the Jews in Music project.
Right. There's a joke. What do they call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea?
A good start.
That's right.
There's not too many I haven't heard.
Yeah, I'm sure. How did you get into the Jews? You told us the Jews in baseball. You were at Wrigley's Field. You got involved with some Jewish player. You were a vendor. You were selling stuff there.
Yeah, I started out selling peanuts, and you work your way up, and you get to hot dogs and beer, etc.
Wow.
And, that is actually how I got to this project, is because I became friends with the White Sox first base coach when I was about 18. And just a great guy, Davey Nelson, passed away a few years ago. But he basically befriended me and my buddy, and we stayed friends for 30, 40 years. He ran a charity event
Right.
for kids in the island of St. Croix.
Right.
A number of years. And then I became friends with just a ton of Major League Baseball players, and specifically a guy named Doug Davis, who was a pitcher.
Okay.
And it was a long story, but I started his foundation.
Yeah.
One day I was with my son at Cooperstown, and I picked up this Negro League print.
Right.
Done by artist Ron Lewis. I bought it. I donated it to the foundation, and the black ball players that were at the event, they just had to have it, and they were bidding and bidding and bidding. And because it was so representative of their heritage, made a lot of money for the charity. I did this another year. I bought another one, donated it. After 2 years of this, I realized if I could do the same print of Jews in baseball, I would really have something. So that's what, from peanut vending all the way to, 30 years later at these events, that's what got me to decide to do this Jews in baseball artwork.
Amazing. And who does the artwork?
So there's an artist named Ron Lewis, and he's really quite a famous and iconic sports artist. He's done a 500 home run club painting, a 3,000 hit club, a 5,000 goal scorers. And so he's the guy that did the Negro League print. And in order to get this started, I had to contact him because I wanted him to do this. And he agreed. And that was that was an interesting first step, but not the hardest step. The hardest steps came after that. It was basically a 3-year journey just to get this, up and around. In fact, for some of your people that aren't familiar, I've got a little 8x10. It'd be better if I shared the screen.
Okay.
I'll do it this way. This is a picture of his ultimate painting.
Wow.
You can see it is 36, including the guys in the crowd, double high. Geos in baseball. You got Koufax and all the oldies, Al Rosen, to the new guys, Kevin Youkilis, Cy Young winners in the crowd. You've got guys like Bud Selig, who was the commissioner of baseball. You got Theo Epstein. Then you got some baseball fans, famous baseball fans like Larry King and Rob Reiner. So in order to put this project together, I needed a couple things. And the first guy I approached to do this was a guy named Steve Stone, who had won the Cy Young Award and is a great Jewish pitcher.
Okay.
He was a friend of mine, and I approached him and said, Steve, we went to a Starbucks coffee, and I said, Steve, what do you think of this idea? And he said, if you can really make this happen, and you had this painting in front of me, with all these guys signing it, would be amazing. He said, but you're never, ever going to get it done. For 2 reasons. He said, number one, Sandy Koufax will never do this. He won't agree to it. And number 2, you need Major League Baseball to give you licensing. And, right now they've given licensing to, McDonald's and Dick's Sporting Goods, and they're not giving it to Greg Harris.
Right. You got to be a big corporation, I suppose.
You got to be a big shot. So he told me, get out of here. If you can come up with something new, let's talk about it again.
Right.
And so a few weeks later, we met again in a place called Goldman's Deli, which is this tiny little deli in Arizona.
Okay.
And we were meeting to talk about, how we're going to get this project done. And while we're sitting there thinking about it, talking about it, we look out the window, and outside the window is Bud Selig, the commissioner of baseball.
Wow.
And Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, most powerful owner of baseball. And sure enough, they come into Goldman's Deli. They sit a few tables away from us. Steve goes over. He talks to them. He comes back. He says, Greg, I told them your idea, and they loved it. You got licensing.
Wow.
So that is literally how we got licensing, was in Goldman's Deli. And
what a story.
Yeah, they say it's Bashert, but that's how we got it. And that was, step one was to get licensing.
How long ago was that?
That was 2000. We probably got licensing around 2011.
Okay.
The agreement. And maybe that was about a year and a half after we were talking about getting this project done.
Right.
Now we got them to agree to licensing. And now the next step is to approach all these guys, including Sandy Koufax.
Right. Is Sandy Koufax still alive?
He's still alive. He's 89.
Wow.
Yeah. He is, one of the most reclusive celebrities there is, period.
Well, when you talk about Jewish baseball players, the first name that comes to mind is Sandy Koufax.
Right. He just did I saw he did a signing. So if you wanted his autograph, you would have to, it was what they call a private signing. You'd have to mail your baseball or jersey or whatever you have pictured in.
Okay.
He would sign it with his agent in a little room, and they would mail it back to you. You'd have no experience or whatnot.
Yeah.
And he limited it to 25 items. So, which is 5 minutes work, right?
Right.
But if you were to mail in your baseball, the cost to get it was $1,250.
Wow.
If you wanted to mail in one of mine, which are big 24 by 36, it would cost about $5,000 or $6,000 just for his signature today.
Wow.
But what we did is we got all the players to agree to be in it, including Koufax, which is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But he agreed. And at first he only wanted to sign 100, and then we got him to 200, and eventually we got, the number we needed to make it worthwhile. Because every player, you got to understand, the originals of these are hand signed by every player.
Wow.
And we had Major League Baseball, because they licensed it, they wanted a witness there to make sure these are legit. So the witness from Major League Baseball was there. They put an identification number on every piece. And if you go to Major League Baseball's website, not my website, but their website, and you type in the number on your piece, it'll tell you the day Sandy Koufax signed it, the day that Ryan Braun signed it, the day that Al Rosen signed it. So we basically took about, 6-8 months. I schlepped these around the country, 1,000 of these, and those cases that like magicians use, and the girl pops out of the case.
Yeah.
We have 4 of those.
Wow.
They carried 1,000 of these. They weighed 1,100 pounds.
Wow.
There were planes, trains, and automobiles. We went to all the cities, and every player sat down and signed 1,000 of these. It took the quickest session was about 3.5, 4 hours. Some of the sessions took 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we got Sandy Koufax to sign.
That's amazing. How many Jewish baseball players are there in total? Do you know?
I think in the history, it's gone up a lot lately. But in the history, there's probably approaching 200 right now. Including.
That's amazing. I would think that there's probably, I'm not sure. I'm just off the top of my head, more Jews in the sport of baseball than maybe perhaps any other sport.
I think you're probably right. There's, and also the thing about baseball that's unique is that when there's a Jewish player, if he's got a drop of Jewish blood in him, we know he's Jewish.
Of course.
If his great-great-great-grandfather was Jewish, we know it.
Yeah.
There's probably more in baseball than the other sports for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's an expression in Yiddish, schwer zu sein a Yid, but es ist noch schwer zu sein a starker Yid, which translates, it's hard to be a Jew, but it's even harder to be a strong Jew.
I was just going to say, none of the Jewish moms wanted him playing football or hockey.
No, that's for sure. But, it makes the Jewish people proud that we have starker Yids, strong Jews who are able to be athletic enough to make it into professional sports. And it makes us proud. I mean, we're 0.02% of the total world population. And when we succeed in these types of professional sports, it says something, that it's an accomplishment. It really is.
When you talk about the pride, that's what I saw with the Negro League print when the black, and then when I decided I was going to do this with the Jewish players, in my head, I thought, okay, who's the market here? And it's going to be a big charity, related project as well. But who's the market? Well, it's going to be people that love, that collect memorabilia, autographs.
Obviously.
It's going to be people that love baseball.
Yeah.
And third, of course, Jewish. And I kind of in my head had it in that order.
Yeah.
What I realized is that it's really about the Jewish pride first, because the originally signed pieces, we sell them, we sold them over the years for an average of, $8,000 each.
Wow.
The lowest price retail was $6,500. We still have some left. But the point is, we came out with replicas, which did not even have the original signatures. They looked beautiful.
Right.
They looked the same.
Yeah.
But people wanted, they didn't care. Some people cared about the original signatures, obviously. But what I'm saying is, it was more about the pride of having this incredible, artwork showing how successful all these baseball players were. And that's what, kind of surprised me at first, but then I realized, that's what it's about. It's about the pride of having it, having these players.
Absolutely. The fathers and mothers have to be proud. And like you said earlier, a Jewish mother, if their child was going to go into a sport, they'd probably want them to go into baseball because it's the less of all the contact sports like hockey, football, where you're more prone to getting injured and hurt. But baseball is relatively tame unless you get hit by a pitch or you're sliding into a base and maybe you get hurt. But that doesn't happen too often. It's
Right.
rare, more rare. Where in baseball and where football and hockey, players get injured frequently.
It was interesting as you say that, the parents are proud. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, when I was doing this project,
Yeah.
hold it up again, there's this crowd and there's people you recognize, but there's a bunch of people you don't. There's
Right.
about 8 or 10 people in there that are the players' fathers.
Yeah.
And they really wanted their fathers to be in and share this joy with them, to be
Sure.
in painting. So that was kind of cool as well.
Sure, the players themselves they want their parents to be proud, and they're proud, that they've accomplished this, that where they were able to be so good that a professional at a sports team hired them and signed them to a contract, and they make big money. These players, millions and millions of dollars, right?
Absolutely. We actually had one of the players, Scott Feldman.
Yeah.
And he was a player for the Rangers. He's in there. And after it was done, he realized that these other people had some of their dads in the crowd. And so he asked me, can you get my dad in? And it was already painted.
Right.
And I called the artist and I said, can you do this? And the artist said, sure. So we took one of them that was printed on canvas and we gave it back to the artist. And Scott Feldman, funny story, he said, I want to put my parents in, but I also want to put some other famous Jewish people in the crowd. I want to put Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld and Adam Sandler. And the fourth person he wanted to put in was Bar Raffaelli, who's an Israeli swimsuit model.
I think Billy Crystal is also a baseball fan, is he not? I think the Yankees.
Billy Crystal, yeah, he's in there actually already.
Oh, okay.
But I think when Scott Feldman's wife heard about Bar Raffaello, that got nixed. And then we ended up putting Howard Stern in instead.
Right.
But Scott was able to get one with his parents in it. And then that spurred me onto the idea that when people bought this for themselves, they also could put themselves in the crowd of their own piece. So that became our best seller, where the artist would paint the person right into their own piece, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Let's continue on. Is this a for-profit company?
I have a great answer for that. It's a for-profit company, and if I ever make a profit, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We do. It's focused on charities. With every sale, we give to charity.
Okay.
Another program we've given either monetary or in-kind donations, or in the high hundreds of thousands. We're approaching 1 million. One of the programs we have
in revenue, you're talking
in either money or in-kind donations that we've given to
that's
Jewish
amazing.
organizations. Yeah. One of our best programs, which everybody listening should really, and I've advertised this on your site, it's our free artwork program, which basically any Jewish organization that has a building that would hang this.
Right.
They would get the artwork for free. They hang it. And then when people see it and they want to purchase one from us, they use a code. Because they see it in the building, they get a 10% discount. They use that code, and then that code also tells us where they saw it. And then we send a donation back to that organization. So if you're a member of a temple, synagogue, JCC, Jewish day school, a Jewish deli is another place we do that for. Just contact us. There's a free artwork tab on our website, and sign up. And we'll get you one of these, and you'll have one to hang, which is great in and of itself, but also makes revenue. So that's one of our better programs.
Yeah. Do you do any fundraising with this project? I guess you just covered that.
We do that. That's one where we just, the benefit is they just hang it and they're done. I also do, these Zoom calls and speaking events where I have a whole PowerPoint. I tell the story, and a lot of men's clubs do that for, a night of entertainment, and they raffle off
Right.
one of the pieces as well. I do live ones. I bring in the ball players if they want.
Wow.
I do mitzvah projects when the bar mitzvah boy or girl wants to do a mitzvah project. They use the artwork to give it away or do a raffle. So I've done tons of different things. If anybody wants to do any kind of fundraising, basically I've got a program for them.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Tell me anything new with this project? What moving forward? What do you have envisioned?
Well, it's funny you should ask. So I released the baseball one in 2013, and I loved it, but it was like a side thing, and I still have my law practice, and now I'm winding down my law practice, and I've been dreaming about doing this for a long time, and I finally did it. We literally just released, and I'll hold it up.
Yeah.
Jews in Music. So
right, I love that.
Similar concept, except obviously
Yes.
Musicians. Streisand, Neil Diamond, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan.
I love it.
Same artist, same thing where there's a bunch of hidden stuff in there. Pink, Adam Levine, Bette Midler.
Wow.
So we literally, like I said, it took, it's so detailed for the artist to paint this. And we got it done. We sent out we had a bunch of pre-orders. We sent out our first one last week. But the same program, the same free art program, if you want that in your building, we can send that out to you. If you want to do a fundraiser with that, we can do that. If you want to purchase one, you pick what charity you want us to donate to on our website. And I think my website is showing up on the screen here for everybody.
Yes. www.jewishcollections.com.
Right.
So if people want to get one of these things, they go to your website and they order it. Is that how it works?
Right. They go to the website, they pick what they want to order, they pick if they want to be painted in, they pick, we actually frame these up with like a backstage pass at the bottom of the frame and a ticket stub and a CD. They pick all that stuff that they want in the frame.
Right.
And then and they pick what charity they want us to donate to. And we ship it off.
Yeah. Well, I noticed a guitar behind you. Do you play guitar, or is that just part of the?
I do not play guitar. I play a little bit of drums.
Okay.
Poorly, but I play a little bit of drums. But I just picked that up at a charity auction.
That's pretty cool. By now that every Sunday I do Music Sundays, and it's just another form of entertainment for the group members. Personally, I think everyone loves music, and it's through music that everybody gets connected. And I really think that it's a great project that you're doing, the Jews in Music, and all that stuff. And people, if someone wants to buy one of the things, they go to your website. How much do these things typically sell for?
They start at $4.95.
Okay.
And then, like I said, the baseball ones can go up to, $8,000, $10,000, depending what they want. But really the ones, to have for your pride and to hang, those are $4.95. So, they can, once you start getting the artist to paint you in, it might, goes up a little bit, but that's the starting price. And there's an option when you buy one to get 8x10s so you can pass them off to all your friends and hang one in the office. So there's that too, which is an option.
It's pretty amazing. Here in Montreal, we're proud that Leonard Cohen was a born Montrealer, and he was big in music. And there's a huge, what do they call it, a mogul on the side of a building? Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure. A mogul, huh? A mogul is like a ski slope, I think, right?
No, you're right. What do they call that when they paint something on the side of a building? What is that called? Mural, that's it. I think mogul. I think because of the snow, it's gotten to my brain. There's so much snow. Mogul, I'm thinking skiing. Mural, yeah. If you'd ever come to Montreal on Crescent Street, which is one of the major downtown streets, there's a huge mural of Leonard Cohen on the side of a building. It's huge,
Okay.
So very, very proud of our our Leonard Cohen.
Now, he's Canadian or?
Yeah, he was born in Montreal.
Okay, all right.
He's a Montrealer. He's a landsman.
There's a few baseball players. Ryan Braun has some Canadian roots, a couple other guys. But I will tell you this, because the first thing people say about the baseball one or about the music one specifically, because there are more musicians.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you forgot. It wasn't a question of forgetting. It was a question of, look how jammed this is with 36 musicians. But with that being said, the decorative wall here has, kind of musical notes from a musical score sheet. But when you get one in person, the lines are not lines. They're actually words.
Okay.
We have a lot of the people that we omitted putting their picture in, and Leonard Cohen is one of those people. His name is represented in here. His picture, but his name is in there.
That's pretty amazing. Well, we often play some of his music. One of his songs, which is sung by many people, is Hallelujah. And one of the more popular ones is where I recorded a IDF soldiers singing it, and it's very heartfelt, and people just love it. So they love his music, and he's one of the more popular. There's so many that are so great in music. If someone wants to have something custom done, do you do that too?
You mean a custom painting?
Yeah, something like that, like a musician or baseball players or.
Oh yeah. We actually we put together. We're working with the Major League. Well, we're working with part of Major League Baseball, and we put together one just for Major League Baseball players, so that we can customize one for them, put their family in the background, etc. But we can do whatever you want,
Yeah. And hockey's my sport. But there's a few Jews in hockey, Jewish hockey players, but not that many. There's a lot more that are in the baseball thing, and not too many football players either. But yesterday I did a thing on Julian Edelman, who I think played for the New England Patriots, and he was connecting to his Jewish roots. But there's I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a Genesis project, Jews in Sports. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen a lot of projects, but I don't recall that one. Maybe
I'll send you the link afterwards to your DM. It's a pretty cool thing where they cover the Jews in sports, including Jews in baseball, but all sports and how they're done. And the Genesis project, what they do Jews in sports, Jews in entertainment, Jews in music. Have you seen that one, Jews in music?
I haven't, so I need to watch.
All right, I'm going to send you this stuff. You're going to love it.
I created on Spotify, and maybe I'll put the link on your site on Sunday. I did a Jews in music playlist, so it's got all the songs by.
Oh, please do that. Do that. That would really be appreciated. We like that kind of thing.
Sure.
Like I said, I try to make this group as. Although it's called Jewish humor, I try to implement different flavors, if you will. So there's the Music Sunday, the Food Monday, Yiddish Wednesday, Thursday, which is today. We do people doing crazy tricks, or people are awesome, or animal tricks, or stupid dog tricks, or smart dog tricks, and so it's. Such a varied group with so many different things, but Music Sunday is, I would say, one of the more popular days. People just love the music, and it's really a connecting force where it connects people. And Jews in music have played a very prominent role over the years. So I'm excited to share these links with you that you can use, and maybe you can use them in some of your projects. Who knows?
Perfect. Yeah, always looking for good stuff to put out there to everybody, and just connect them with not just the artwork, but like you said, anything. We actually, I will put on there. It's almost finished. There's a rapper named Kosha Dills, and I don't know if anybody.
Oh yes, I've heard of him.
He did a song. He did a rap song about the painting. So so he's almost finished editing it, and I'll put that out there for you.
Okay, let's do that on Sunday, on Music Sunday.
Okay, as soon as I get it from him the next Sunday, I'll do it.
All right, that would be cool. Is there anything else we want to add before we go?
The only thing I can stress is the free art program is just so easy and so amazing that I really wish more people didn't think there was a catch.
Yeah.
I remember the first time around with baseball, they'd say, well, can you do this? I said, I can't do any better than free.
No, of course not.
Free.
Yeah.
So, that's what it is. And, so I guess the only thing I can stress is spread the word. We do good things for a lot of different causes. And I love when my friends at a bar mitzvah in Wyoming, and he says, hey, I was there and I saw a picture, your picture hanging there. Because it's all over the country. So it's in Montreal too, but it's all over the United States as well. So just, spread the word and take advantage of the free art program and the other fundraising things we do. And of course, buy one for yourself.
I will. And we'll put this video up on YouTube so you can use it for your own purposes. If you want, put it on your website or wherever. And it'll be streamed repeatedly to my group over and over again. And we'll try and get the message across. And really appreciate you sponsoring the group and having you today and explaining more about your project. And I think it's a wonderful project that's worthwhile. And all I can say is you're a good human being. You're a mensch. You're a righteous man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me here. And your site is great. Which got my attention. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, bye for now. And everybody, buy some of his artwork or get it for free. Either way, it's great. Bye for now.